There's no question people like the stories I tell. I have a bit of a knack as a storyteller, and I can be authentic, and I tell these personal stories that transcend whatever business someone's in. I mean, you could be a nurse, you could be an engineer, you could be a project manager, but we all have one thing in common is we're people, so we have personal stories. There's a lot of other people who do amazing things. I mean, they're truly heroes. They've been ejected from F-15s. They've had burns. They've been bludgeoned. Maybe they've done other things. Maybe they've been in a sporting event and they've placed first, or they've been the first to do something in some other feat. And these are true, honest to goodness heroes that have overcome amazing odds to do what they've done. However, most of us are just people. We're just ordinary people that are walking down the street. You know, many of the people in your audiences have had these experiences that I've had. Everybody, I think, has probably been to the emergency room. A lot of us have had loved ones who have had strokes or heart attacks, and we've had to work with that. Maybe they're facing bureaucracy inside of some city or with the county sheriff or whatever. But we all have this common thing that we have to do in dealing with other people in these urgent and stressful situations, and we have no authority. So we need to learn how to lead with no authority. And a personal story can make that happen. A personal story will bring it down inside someone. It makes what you're talking about visceral. And so they can relate, they can understand, maybe they've been there. You know, as I'm going through some of these stories, I have people tell me, you know, I could smell the ER. I remembered the eulogy. I felt the frustration of facing the bureaucracy and the brick wall. And it was amazing how you worked to break that down. It's a way of taking leadership, your business skills and change management, in persuasion, in trying to influence people. Maybe you're a project manager in that structure, and really changing and affecting situations. And when you show someone how they can take those disciplines that they've worked so hard in perfecting in their business and make them affect themselves, their family, their friends, their community, they're grateful. They know they've done this at times, but they don't know that there's a reason behind it and things that they can amplify and study and work on to make it so they can have a bigger effect. And when you do that, people take it to heart and they realize that they're heroes too.
But let me tell you another story. This is not a hypothetical story. This story is about this young lady. I'm kind of fond of this lady. In January, we had our 35th wedding anniversary. Mrs. Williams, you're having an MI, and we're going to take you up to the cath lab and fix you up. And I quickly walked over to my wife, and I looked at her, and I said, "Hon, do you understand what that man just said?" And she looked up to me, very weak and obviously in pain, and said, "No. Hon, you're having a heart attack, and they're going to take you upstairs and make you feel better." If any of you have seen somebody when they come fairly fresh out of surgery, they don't look like themselves. They kind of look like this liquid that's been poured into a bed that kind of forms to the sheets. Dr. Lucius was the beginning of my team. He came to us humbly, admitted he was wrong, he was accountable, and he was the first member of our team. And I leveraged Dr. Lucius from there on out. He brought Dr. Smith on board, who actually diagnosed things. And then tomorrow, the next day, he would bring Dr. Potter on board. You know why I call him Dr. Potter? So I've used it a number of times. I used it when my 23-year-old son died. I had to fight with the medical examiners to find out the cause of death. I had to work with my family to bring my family back together. Yeah, my daughter's a drug addict. We thought she'd gone through rehab. We thought she was clean, but whenever she was about 5 months along, she had kidney stones, and the doctor took her drug of choice and put her on it to kill the pain. So Kennedy was born addicted. 3 days after this picture was taken, the Department of Social Health Services, state of Washington, took the baby away and put it into foster care. We went home that day, and I said, come on, Danielle, we need to talk about this. Danielle's my daughter. I said, we got to talk about this. We got to put together a plan. We need a team. We got some problems we got to work through. They're small. We can get through these. She told me to go pound sand. After a few days, I put some stuff together. She started looking at it, and she says, okay. And she tried to help out. And we put together a plan. 6 weeks later, we went to court. Commissioner Stonke listened to all the evidence, and he gave Kennedy back to the parents because they were living in our house. Kennedy's now in 3rd grade. She reads at a 5th grade level, 180 words a minute, 95% comprehension rate. Math, that's another story. Struggles with math. How many of you struggle with math? She does too. And you might say she's a little hyperactive. If her teacher was in here, she'd start throwing tomatoes at me and say, what do you mean a little?